Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Flower Farm podcast. Today's topic, we're going to talk about chasing the meta and then just overall feeling maybe burnt out or not even enjoying the game anymore from constantly chasing the meta every time either a new set comes, rotation comes. But first, I would like to introduce my guests. I have Adam, HarlanSweete. Would you like to introduce us real quick?
Yeah, hello everyone. It's awesome to be on here. I think I've known you since like the real start of like Lorcana competitive play, like way back when with like what's it called, like Pixelborn type stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been really awesome to like chat with you every time and pick up on the game. And we mainly do like Sapphire Steel stuff on my channel, but I talk about anything as well. Like I think it's good to keep it fresh for yourself, not try and lock yourself entirely on one deck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, I thought of bringing you on because I think you're one of the best guests to talk about this topic because not only have you talked about this on your channel, but I think you've also gone through this as well, where you're preparing for an event or a new meta comes and you start chasing the new meta deck and then you start to not have fun when you're playing the game, right?
I've had quite a few experiences. I went to do a video on my channel if anyone wants to check it out. Like it's all my videos on my channel, by the way, is me staring at a screen and talking. So that's what you're getting. No, nothing too fancy there. But yeah, like I think from my personal experience, like season 1 or the first round of Lorcana, like there's the Lorcana thing where you can check your ranking.
Yeah.
I was like the 49th best player on there, like out of all regions, and I was like, wow, maybe I'm not too bad at this game. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't just always chase Sapphire Steel. It was getting, for anyone who's played that deck, it was getting a bit harder to actually get results from it.
Mm-hmm.
You felt like you were already on the back foot. You had maybe one good matchup at best. Everything else felt really hard. So I was trying to chase the meta, and I was always trying to do the thing that you do where you're one step ahead. If Dogs is really popular, then maybe you bring Ruby Amethyst. Maybe don't bring Ruby Amethyst because that deck's terrible. But, you maybe think about those things, don't you?
Yeah.
And you try and always be one step ahead. You get like a great group of players to all chat with and try and discuss the meta and like what you think would be the best thing to bring for the deck. Bring for the event, sorry. But it can end up just being a really like dire and boring scenario really for yourself, and it's where I get some like new bit of respect for players like DKP and Ed as well, like who will do those things. They will chase the meta and they will play for optimal plays, they will play for the prizing and stuff like that, which is great. But for myself, it's like I work full time. I have like other personal things that I am, and I've got all of the stuff I have to do at my house, like personal life, and all of those things are pretty hard to do. So on top of that, if I'm like, oh, it's my free time to do what I want to do and I'm going to practice blurple mirrors or something that I really don't want to do, it just makes you end up resenting the game and hating it, and you're like, why am I doing this?
Right. Yeah, because like we talk a lot, right? And oftentimes like you're just gonna be like, hey, what's the most updated PS list? Hey, what's the most updated blurple list, right? And like we joke about this, that you go around and play literally every deck out there, and then you end up back on Sapphire Steel. Right? Like we've had this conversation like since like set 3 when we started to talk a lot.
There'll always be a moment where I'm playing and it gets to a point where I just like sleeve up like one of your purple steel lists, and then I play like 1 or 2 games and I'm bored, or like I'm not engaging with the deck, and like there's nothing against the deck or your deck building, it's just this isn't for me. I'm not getting anything out of it. They're very good. People get results with it, but yeah, it's how it's ended up. And you know when I'm struggling because I'm coming to you and going, like, what is it? What can I play?
Next time I should just be like, just go back and play your own deck.
Just tell me. It'll be like if you pick up, for anyone out there as well when they do it, like you might pick up Dogs. Like I picked up Green Purple Burn earlier this week, and I'm like loving it. Like I had so much fun with it, like learning everything. Then you hit a wall where you play against a deck that's like a bad matchup and you just keep losing and you're like, oh, this is terrible. I want to play their deck. Then you play their deck and then you lose to their bad matchups. And you just get in this cycle where it's like, oh, this is horrible. Right. I'm not enjoying it. I'm chasing a win that's not there.
Right. Yeah, like I think that's a very good point because like no matter what deck you play, there's something that you want to dodge. So like yes, like you said, there are decks that like chasing the meta. There are some decks that are better than others in the meta, right? Some tier 1 decks, for example. And then there's other time like and like things come and go, right? Like seasons come and go. It's like the meta just kind of flows a lot of the time, where like different decks come in and out of power depending on, you know, what card gets printed, right? And like at the end of the day, is like you said, if you're not having fun, like what are we doing, right?
Why are you
playing?
Yeah, why are you doing
like
this?
Unless, like you said, like DKP or Ed, like they obviously they're at a different level of playing, because, you know, they're on a team, they're sponsored, you know, there's a lot of money involved. So I get, like, you know, winning is probably more of the priority. And I'm not saying winning's not important, right? But what I've experienced is like I could go play every deck I want to as well. Why do I play Purple Steel and Blurple all the time? Just because I like it, not because it's the best. Well, sometimes it is, but not always, right? Because what I found was that when I played, even if I played the best deck, like Sisu and Ice back in the day, right? Sure, I was crushing everyone, but I was not having fun. And then, when you lose with it, you feel extra bad, because you're just like, I don't even like playing the game, right?
Yeah. I mean, my story of what made me do a video and like do a bit of a reach out to like anyone who needed to hear it was that I think I played Blurple before at like a big event we have in the UK called Axion. I said, like, I messaged you, I picked it up the day before. This was before rotation.
Set 8.
And it was like set 8. Yeah, I was like, and I ended up being like the third most. By the way, I'd only played like 3 games of Blurple prior to this. Like, and all the only knowledge I had was it was bad into Steel Song, and that was like all I knew. But it was I like that deck actually. I really have a soft spot for set 8 Blurple, because it felt like you could kind of play into anything. And you just learn what you're doing on the day. But yeah, I had a really good run. I was like, oh wow, maybe I'm this wonder kid on Blurple, and I should keep playing it. Of course, we go into rotation, and it's like the most popular deck, and I'm like, oh no, I was really good at it then. It was a set 9 Blurple. I remember asking you, and you were like, no, it's a completely different deck. Like, it's not. In set 8, you could draw about 1 million cards, and in set 9, you couldn't. You had to really manage a resource. Like, you inking was a really big decision. And I just hated playing it, and I hated the mirrors. I hated all of that. I even hate it in set 10. I still play it, but I hate it in set 10. And I brought it to Bologna, and I ended up going. I lost. I was going. I think I was like 5-2 into the round you needed to get to day 2, and I lost it. And I was like, again, yeah, it's the deck I didn't really enjoy playing up to that point. I'm playing it to try and win. I'm not even winning. So why am I here? What? And at the time, you know, there was a guy as well who was like 5-0 on Sapphire Steel on day 1, and like everyone was just watching him, and I was like, yeah, I don't care if I was going 0-5, but I'd rather be, I want to be that guy. Yeah, I want to be that guy. And then it was just like, why did I not? And I remember talking to a few of the other Sapphire Steel people, was like, yeah, we should have just brought it. We did the same thing as you. We just brought what we thought was the best, and we weren't having a great time with it. And you just end up getting this horrible situation. So you kind of just have to evaluate yourself as a player. Like you say, like if you play for a team or whatever, and there's a lot of money behind this, maybe you do have to play the best deck. But for me personally, you know, I play as competitively as I can. I played like hard games since I was really young, but I just like playing what I enjoy. And also as well, I think it leans into your practice. Like really, I was hating it. It was like a chore to play Blurple on all of the sims and like testing. I was like, I hate all of this, and like I don't want to even think about tech cards because I don't care. But when it's like a deck you really enjoy, you're like, oh, let's try this card out tonight. And all of that stuff just feels a lot more fruitful, doesn't it? A lot more joyful.
Like you're having fun, right? Because you're like brewing. Like, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, back when Kiwi was originally created between you and Justin, right? And like, I mean, I wasn't involved in the process, but I was watching. And it was like, you can really see like the passion of like, you know, your love for the deck. And like, you guys literally tried every single card, and you were there every single day, every single night, practicing and testing.
Oh yeah, no, I really like that.
Yeah.
And you have those beautiful moments. Like I've had it in other card games. I've had it in this, like where it just clicks, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, Justin created Kiwi Birds. I was like his humble servant who was just trying about 1 million cards. Like he'd message me, and then he'd go to bed and be like, I think we should try this card out. And I'd play like 50 games with it and go, no, it's bad. And then he would change it out. And it even got to the point where when I brought it to Continentals, like my journey for that was I turned up at 6 a.m. on the morning of the last chance qualifiers. I had a ticket to leave that day because I was like, I'm not gonna get through. And I played my 5 games and got through. I didn't have any cards, so I couldn't change anything out.
Right.
Like I had this terrible, like if you look at it, it had like Twin Fire in it.
Yeah.
You know, it had like weird stuff in it. And I ended up getting it. And I was like, I think I gave the, you know, they had the Baymax sleeves. I gave them to someone, and they let me stay at their like apartment they had booked for the night, so I could stay the other night. And then I was like, oh, this invite to the ball card was like $1,000, so I was like, I can buy a flight back on the Sunday. It'll be great. But even then, I brought Philosophities into Continentals, and I was texting Justin going like, no, we need to cut this card. It doesn't work. It was like at like the height of competitive Europe play at that point, and I was basically just play testing this deck. And I was like, no, we need to cut this. And you have those beautiful moments, and I haven't really felt it since rotation, but I'm sure like a deck will click where it's like, you know, this is just all you want to play, and you just want to try all the options for it and love it or hate it. I had terrible times with that deck as well. Like it was not working, but you just sometimes fall in love with a deck like you have with Blurple and Purple Steel.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Right. Like, I think not only that if you have a deck that you love playing, you enjoy the game more. Right. But I think you also, it's also better for your longevity in the game to avoid burning out. Because like I see so many people, whether it's on Discord or 20 lore or on X or whatever, and they're just like crashing out about the game. And like, and yes, like I see them, right? I know that they are chasing the meta. I can see it from what they say. And it's just like, man, I wish you would just play the deck that you love playing. And because like you're able to accept, not saying that like you're not going to win everything. You're going to, you know, never lose and feel bad about it. But like you feel, I guess you're more okay with the results that happen. You think so?
Yeah. I fully agree. And we do have a mutual friend, goes by the name Fumbles, that we do like to watch crash out continuously as he chases every
Rick,
meta option.
He's watching.
I think even before Richmond. Yeah, I hope you're watching. Of course, we love you, but I think even before Richmond, I was like, what deck are you bringing? I don't know, I got like 5, and it was like all the top meta choices at the time. And it was just crashing out. Like, I don't know how high his blood level was from all the anxiety. Yeah. But like, I sadly, like, no, it feels like we have less decks to pick from, but that's just because there's been a rotation and there's a smaller size. But yeah, when you get that deck that clicks, like, you just want to play it. And I still pick up Kiwi, like, when I can, just to see if it could work again, because Ward aggro just sounds good. But it hasn't really clicked in the latest set. But, you know, it does help for your longevity if you're actually enjoying the game. Definitely.
So then, like, right now, since you mentioned, like, you don't really have, like, a deck that you truly love at the moment. You're still kind of, like, in limbo. Like, how do you keep yourself interested? Like, how can you keep playing the game if you don't? You know, because I'm sure a lot of people might feel the same way about the game, too, after rotation.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. And for myself, like, there's a few things, like, where I got to with my content. Like, I'm very grateful with it, with my position in the community, that I get to do all this content and stuff. And that, I don't think that keeps me going, but my sort of social life, like, I met my partner, my girlfriend, Ali, through Lorcana. So it's like, it's quite big to us, this game is. Like, I think it'd be a lot, like, bad things to happen for us to go, we don't want to play anymore. So all of those things do help. But game-wise, like I say, I'm trying pretty much every deck. And I really wanted to go back to Sapphire Steel, and I did. But, you know, there's only so many times you can draw 2 off Goliath and, like, lose the game or, like, miss Cinderella. To be honest with you, I played that at the Content Creator Store Champs. I played that a bit over the Store Champ season. I really enjoyed it again. It was good fun. It's not the same deck, sadly. But, you know, it's good fun. I just try everything. And sometimes you will end up getting a deck that you like. I've kind of been enjoying dogs recently. There's a lot of decision making and there's a lot of depth to it. I think it's just, maybe as well, don't take it too seriously. Take the entire game too seriously. Like, that's a good point. Like, we have less events to do as well, so you have less reason to take it as seriously.
That's good advice, right? Because, like, especially now, like, with less DLCs, I guess, in the horizon until season 3. I tell my students this too, right? Like, right now, it's like, I kind of like use the analogy of like a sports off season, where like right now, like it's the off season. Now is when you train and improve and get better for when the season comes, so that you're like tip top shape going into, you know, where you're playing baseball, basketball, you know, football, whatever it might be, right? Like you're ready to go. Or it's just like a time where you have a lot of fun because the game is supposed to be fun and you should be playing to have fun, right? Especially if there's no stakes. Yeah, it's just like, but that's really good advice though, where you're just like, just take it easy, right? Have fun. Like, I think a lot of people miss sight of that part right there. The 3-letter word, have fun in this game. It is a game. Games are supposed to be fun.
I think it helped as well. Like DKP even tweeted that, of course, he loved his Ruby Sapphire Shark deck. That was his like pride and joy. And I think there was a lot of people like that as well, pre-rotation, where they thought, no, like Ruby Sapphire is going to be here forever. And then post-rotation, you know, it's like I'm trying to find a new home or whatever. And some people have, and that's really good. But yeah, try and take the game not as seriously. Try and play everything as well. Like I say, there were decks that I just didn't think I'd enjoy, and I'm picking up recently. Like Dogs has been around since like set 7, and
you're an aggro player
no
at
real
heart.
interest in
I know
playing
this.
I do love an aggro deck, yeah, and I even stuff like that. I try and broaden my horizon a bit. Like try and play a control deck, try and play whatever. Like yeah, just. I really did like Amber Steel, but then that got taken by Dogs, so now I have to play Dogs pretty much.
But like, I think that's
as no aggro deck exists.
Oh, for sure. But that's a really good, I think, approach to have, right? I think because you mentioned earlier, you literally pick up Blurple. Well, I knew this, but you picked it up like right before Axion in set 8, and you're able to do well. And I think that kind of goes down, like your approach to the game also kind of goes along with that, because you are playing every deck, you're exploring everything, you really understand like how all the decks work, so you're able to be adaptable whenever, you know, meta changes, new cards come, right?
Yeah. I mean, right now, don't know when this goes out, but blue-yellow could be the big crazy thing. And I really wanted to play blue-yellow. Of course, just something completely new. You know, no one had played against it. No one really... It has been around, but, you know, it's not really been as popular as it will be now because of the new cards. Played it, and then I kind of had to make my peace with maybe this deck isn't going to be very good like early on, as I was crashing out with fumbles over it. But yeah, it is good to have that like flexibility as well. And I feel like you get to that different, like I kind of pigeonholed myself into Sapphire Steel, and I really do like doing the Sapphire Steel stuff and being that guy who gets the players who do well on the channel, and like we talk through deck guides and stuff. But there has been times, especially post-rotation, where it's like, this is nightmare to play. Like, I don't love it as much anymore. It feels a bit terrible, and I'm just burning out every time I pick it up. So yeah, just playing all the decks as well. And also, we're in a weird spot now with Lorcana. Well, not, it's a pretty good spot where we do have 2 formats with Infinity. And it's quite nice to pick that up from now and like time and again, because that is going to be quite important for us later on. I play a lot of card games, so I play a few card games, and it kind of helps my burnout a bit. But, you know, we've got 2 formats. If you only want to play Lorcana, maybe you play that. We even do like fun theme nights at locals. Even I do a movie themed deck every so often, you know, just to switch things up.
No, for sure. I mean, it's good to keep it interesting, keep it fresh, so that it's not like the same like mundane thing, because then you can very easily get burned out, right? Yeah, like I think a lot of people, like you said, everyone knows you as a Sapphire Steel guy. A lot of people, well, most people know me as either a Purple Steel or the Blurple guy. But like I felt the same way, like after rotation. Like Purple Steel and Blurple is not the same deck as what it was, right? Like what made me love, what made me love those decks is not the same now, because the decks all play completely different, right? And I can obviously leave the colors, not that I have to stick with it. I think what keeps me going and playing certain decks is that I just love certain cards, right? Like certain characters, certain cards I think I really like. So it's not even so much my affinity towards colors, it's more so a card. And if that card is there, I'll play the deck. You ever feel that?
What is the card for you?
Elsa.
Elsa.
I've been playing Elsa ever since set 5, right? When no one was playing it.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite cards.
I remember when it came in, it was the debate on, you'd probably still just play 5-cost Maui over this.
Yeah, but I didn't play red purple.
Now it's
I didn't have a choice.
yeah. But I remember at the time, everyone was like, no, you don't need this card. But I guess back then as well, you had more targetable removal. But now that card is just insane.
Yeah, exactly. But like that card's one of my favorites.
How will you feel though when it rotates out?
Sorry, how do I feel? I would feel sad.
How? What? Yeah, you got like 2 more sets or so until it rotates out.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think I've always liked all the Elsa cards. So like set 1, I wanted to play 8-cost Elsa. That's why, like, if you remember back in set 2 when we were playing each other a lot online, I was playing Purple Steel, but I had Big Elsa in the deck. All right, that's because I just like playing the card.
Yeah. No, I think for me, like, my favorite cards, like, I did a list on them, but Doc's always been up there.
Yeah, Doc's, I like that too.
Because we're in this really heavy, like, he's such a fun card to be like dump hand, play Doc, or top deck Doc. Oh, I could try and win this game now. I just love that. But with this under the sea meta where it's like playing Doc and 2 characters just for it to all disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Hasn't been very good.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's why I'm always got an affinity for things like Amber Steel and like the first deck I actually ever played. I guess like the first Lorcana deck I played like competitively was Green Steel. There was like do you remember the Speci original? I don't know if it was his, but everyone called it his. And our friend, you actually had him on the channel on day 1 on the first episode. He posted a list and I just grabbed it and I entered like the Thea Beastie event.
Right.
And got like top 8 or something with it.
Yeah.
It had like 2 of the 4 cost.
We were cheering you on. It was crazy.
Yeah. I like hadn't really played it before. And I was like, oh, this list looks fine. And I think it was like £10 or something to get into the event. I was like, yeah, this is good practice. No DLCs on. And then I ended up taking it to Lil, the first DLC as well. Because I was like, I just really love this. I love the playstyle of it.
That's a good point. Because way back in the day, we didn't even have tournaments. There was no DLCs. There was nothing ever announced. But we still played the game for the love of the game.
Yeah. I think that is, when you say about the reasons to keep playing the game, there is that with that. The love of it. And like I said, I play a lot of games. I've been around games for a little while and done all the communities, but there is something special with Disney Lorcana.
Yeah.
Like it has this weird Disney magic to it. Like just people like to dress up. People like you say, people like to play their favorite characters from favorite movies. Like I've even saw like Artabax was tweeting, who's a very, not gonna lie, very strict man who enjoys certain things. But he was like, oh, I really love the Fox and the Hound. I'm gonna try and play these cards. And it's just good when people tweet stuff like that, because then we don't all look like these robotic, only play meta deck people.
I think that's, well, for me at least, one of the main reason I think I even picked up the game in the first place, because it was a Disney card game, and I like all my Disney movies and franchises and characters. And then like you said, Artifacts and with Fox and the Hound, like, yeah, like it might not, we don't know how good it'll be right now, right? But you love the franchise, you love the characters, you love the cards, you're gonna play it. Like another big one coming up is probably like Toy Story, right? Who knows how good it'll be, but like I'm playing it. I want to play it. I want to use the Toy Story characters. I love the characters.
I mean, like Ali, like my partner, she plays quite a lot, and when she picked up the game, she picked up Kiwi, and that was not me telling her to pick that up. She picked up, and like we met through stuff like that, and she did really well. She really liked Kiwi. She picked up Purple Steel, and this was set 6, set 7, where it wasn't the most popular deck at the time. She really enjoyed it, but then post rotation hit, and it became so popular that everyone was playing. She ended up hating the mirrors, hating the who got strength for the Raging Fire, who did the Pete, all that stuff. She hated it. So she's kind of swapped to just playing like blue yellow princesses, which is an extremely polarizing deck, but she has a lot of fun with her fully enchanted out blue yellow princesses deck that beats the green blue players.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, with aggro.
Yeah,
and you can manage it like that sometimes as well. Yeah, like I'll always like just pick up a deck that I think is very fun. Like I think I opted to try green purple burn because I just kind of like, in Lorcana I liked Sapphire Steel a lot because it had alternative win cons. Not a massive one, but you used the lucky dime to win the game, which was still gaining lore, all of those things. You weren't milling, you weren't doing those things, but I was like, instead of me just play character quest, I had to do a way, figure a way to win with these items and the dime, and I liked all that stuff. So I picked up green purple burn, and I've been enjoying that. But the issue is, I play against whoever... guy in the flower farm, Lawfessor, I think his name is. I am like 1 in 10 into him. and I was on dogs, and then I swapped to burn, and he swapped to dogs, and now he keeps beating me, and I don't want to play the deck anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like what I alluded to earlier, every deck's gonna have that one bad matchup. So long as you're having fun, it's just like, and I guess if you're not going to a big tournament, like, why do you have to play the best meta deck at your locals?
Yeah, why do you have to be that person? I mean, I am that person, but why do you have to be? Yeah, I think as well, your deck having one, that's also something to note is if you're playing a deck and you're like, I know it loses to that, and then you, at your locals, play 3 matchups that's bad. Like if you bring Burn and you play into Dogs 3 times, you're not supposed to really get upset. I get it, you lost 3 times, but you kind of knew that, and I think I don't play fully optimally. Like, of course, I do make mistakes like anyone does, but when you get to a point where you're kind of playing above average and you're playing optimally to the best point, when you just lose to bad matchups or something, you're just not really supposed to get upset. Like, you just kind of got to take that data on. All of this is numbers. All this is variance. That stuff's really hard to manage in your head. I get that totally, but that's something you really got to keep in mind of like, hey, I brought Dogs and there is 5 Ruby Amethyst in this 15-man store champs. Like, I'm probably not going to win it, you know?
Yeah.
But we know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But when you do beat the hard tough matchup with your deck, you feel on top of the world.
You do, yes. Yeah, when you manage to squeak the win in.
Yeah.
And also that's what I had with Kiwi back then was like the bad matchups. I wanted to sit there and practice them. And like I had that again this week with Burn. Like I literally went down to my locals at lunchtime today actually and said like kids, like some people would just bring Dogs and just torture me for like a few hours just so I can learn it. And I think that's always a beautiful thing when you can get a deck to a point where you just want to play it. You don't care if you want to lose, if you lose or not. And that's the flip side to when I brought Blurple to Bologna. I hated when I lost and I kind of hated when I won. Like I just didn't enjoy any of it. It was just really horrible. And the pressure when you're losing, because you're like, I don't even want to be here doing this and I'm losing.
Exactly.
Compared to I'm having great fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know about yourself, but it might be anyone listening as well. It's like when I'm playing a deck I don't like and I kind of don't enjoy the games, I don't look for all of my outs. I don't look for how can I turn this into a win. I kind of switch my brain off, go, oh, I've lost. You know, I don't want to play this. But yeah, with like Kiwi, I was always going for, no, I just need to top deck Doc into Alice, into another Doc, into Strength, and then I can win the game.
Just 4 cards, that's
and
all.
You know, you look for those. Yeah, I just need those 4 cards in the next order. And like my brain was always like that. And I've been kind of like that with a few decks. Like, I'm like, I just need to get this. And then sometimes you do sometimes get the luck and you get the win. But with Blurple, especially during like set 9 time, I was like, yeah, okay, you played Basil, Ramp, Elsa, I've lost. I wasn't thinking like, no, if I could do Into the Unknown, I could do that. Like, it just wasn't in my brain power. I just didn't have the interest in it.
I mean, I think that's why like a lot of people who bring their pet decks to an event do like overperform compared to like anyone else. Like, for example, you and LD going to EU Continentals and Artifacts, right? You guys brought your pet deck. Yeah. It was not the best deck of the format. Absolutely was not.
No.
But every single one of you went to the LCQ and all 3 of you made it through.
Yeah. That was just, and you get like one of them magical moments. Yeah. And I feel like if I'd have brought I remember all of the people bringing it at the time were going, Ruby Sapphire Control is the best thing to bring. Like, you have to bring
all
it.
the French teams,
they brought
right?
it like,
we're bringing it.
Yeah, they were all bringing it, and they were like, none of them were even making it through the LCQ pods. And they were like, no, it's the most optimal. And we're like, no, because I just want to bring this. And my round 1 was against Ruby Amethyst, and it was like a strange one. And the guy didn't really speak English, and it was like a Maximus type build. And like, because you know your round 1 at events is always like strange, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to play against. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose versus this 7/5 uninkable. I can't even remember what the card was called, but it was like a 7/5 uninkable, and you could play it next to Maximus, and it would get and I was like, oh no, this is awful for Kiwi. But no, then you like your next rounds. Like, even played like Ryan Walker in there, and I had to go for like a toilet break like halfway through, like because I was just. I by the way, I hadn't slept for any of that. I drank like 6 coffees just to get through it, and like they talked about it on the Zan's podcast, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool moment. But yeah, I think when you just sort of in like the cringiest way is that like follow your heart type thing, isn't it? It's like, well, if you think this deck is the best deck, then go and bring it and prove it, and you're probably going to have a lot more fun than you brought Ruby Sapphire because all of the Metafy guides and everyone on Twitter told you to. Like, you're probably going to end up having more fun.
Exactly. Just bring the deck that you love. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
bring exactly what you love.
People ask me all the time, Like if you were gonna play a DLC right now, or you're gonna go to an event right now, what are you gonna play? I don't know. Blurple? Purple Steel? Like, I'm not,
Yeah.
like, even when everyone, you know, back pre-rotation, everyone's like, why would you play this deck? It sucks. I agree. It's like Ruby Amethyst baby brother. It's Purple Steel. Like
Yeah.
why would you do it? I don't know. I just like it. Right. So like, but I enjoyed it. Whether win or lose, still enjoyed it. So
Yeah. I think that's for a lot of people as well. And if you are like hyper competitive, and like winning is the only thing that's important to you, you don't even care about the Disney on the cards. Like, maybe all of this episode isn't for you. But, you know, if you're a genuine person who's just in the hobby, and there's been some awesome stories of people like just going all the way and just getting into the top eights and getting those Mickeys as well, which we saw in like set 9, which is really cool. I really liked seeing it. Was the kid's name Aiden? Like, you know, I think just bringing Amber Steel and just having a great time, I thought that was really cool. And there was one of the Axion events in the UK, there was a mum and daughter who brought their Amber Steels. I believe they were an Amber Steel. And they ended up getting like into top cuts and prizing. And it's like just great moments like that just is what make this game great.
exactly. It makes the game great. And the other thing is that you know your deck inside out. You know every line, you know every situation, what to do. How many people can actually say that about the deck they bring to an event? Apart from the deck you love, right?
Yeah. I remember I brought Kiwi once to... They had this like event. It was before CCQs were around. They did an event in the hometown of Ravensburger. And it was like a 500 person
Oh yeah,
event.
I remember that.
It was really good
Set
fun.
8 at the very, like right after the Hiram ban. Or set,
Right,
after, yeah.
and it was the weirdest prizing. It was the weirdest everything. But it was top 64, 500 or so, and it was like best of 2. And I brought Kiwi because I told myself like I want to prove this deck can work in best of 2. Like I know it's got a very good on the play game, but it's on the draw. And we did end up getting it, and that was awesome. But one of my favorite memories is I played I think he was an Italian guy, and I went like I can't remember. I think I played Duke Weaselton or something.
What does that even do?
Into like it's just a 1-2 with
the ward guy. Yeah, okay.
yeah. And he was on Steel Song, and I played Alice, and then I played Wendy Darling, and then I think I played Cogsworth or something like that. But like every character on the board had ward, and you could tell he was a Steel Song player. He had an Ariel set up and an Ursula, and his hands clearly were just all songs. And I went, no, that one has ward as well.
Yeah.
And he was like, so everything has ward. Yeah. And he just keep looking at his hand like, so everything. And I'm like, yes, it all has ward. Like you can't use any of your songs. Sorry, you set up singers. You have to hit them. And it was just like moments like that I really loved. And as you say, I knew inside and out. And there was times where you could push the matchup. I think that's when you get really good, is when you can push your like pet deck or like the thing that you're enjoying to the limits. You know, just wanting to like get that little bit of an edge and go, yeah, if I can just beat that, like this can go even further. And as I say, you just feel more engaged. You feel like you want to practice it more. It's just all of those great things.
Exactly. Like LD was talking about this on last week's episode too, right? It's just like play the deck you love. You know, you're gonna do things that other people don't know that your deck can do, and then you're probably gonna outplay them, because you know things that they don't, and then you're just gonna steal games that you otherwise wouldn't have, just because. And you love the deck.
For sure. Yeah. And you're having a great time, which is where I kind of got. I think you can get on a bit of a spree of like, oh, I think I'm really good and I can play any deck, but if you're just not going to put the practice in because you don't enjoy it, I don't think there's the point of you bringing
100%.
it. I'm assuming all of these Blurple people really like playing Blurple. I mean, you've built almost a business on people loving Blurple. So I know there are people out there, but like literally I played a mate in like a store champs. It was like after the DLC, because I think the only deck I still had built was Blurple. And it just got to the mirror and it was like, I play Hades, they play Hades, then they play their second Hades. I'm like, I just want to scoop. I don't want to figure out how I get into this game. I don't want to figure out how I win it. And I'm just not enjoying it. And yeah, but then I swapped back to Amber Steel and I was just having a great time with that. But it's just finding what you enjoy and really pushing the deck to the limits.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of decks that you enjoy, are there any decks in set 11 so far that, apart from what you've told us so far, like, I mean, Dogs, Amber Steel, that's decks that have been around, but is there anything that kind of intrigues you? Anything that you really liked?
I'm not, so I think for starters, like Sapphire Steel actually did get a few things it can try out. It's worth mentioning that I did a video and I put Sapphire Steel, Dogs, and Burn, and they were very simple lists. But creativity wise, I think this set, like, I'm not the biggest deck builder. Like, I'm always a tinkerer. Like, especially, like, I just helped Justin with Kiwi. I was not the one to come up with I did not think Alice and Pluto, that's a great idea. You know, and then I go away and I test cards for countless hours because I've got so much. Well, this is like my main hobby. This is all I do. But what I'm really liking the look of, and I think people should really going to push the shark decks a bit further. I'm really liking like the idea of a Ruby Amber like shark stuff. You know, Amber's got so many cool songs in there that you can sing. Ohana means family. Like recycling that with the shark just seems awesome. Like I really want to see all of that stuff. And even as well, like in the smaller bits of testing I've done, like does anyone know how to pronounce this song? The free cost uninkable song, Akuda.
I just say Akud. I don't know the rest. I'm sorry, they're butchering it.
Akud Imuti or something.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like what people are figuring out they can play on turn 2 is nuts. Like I was playing against someone from the Flower Farm and they were doing it and then getting the 3-cost lady out to cheat another character out. You know, that's just 3 characters wide by turn 2, and they're, you know, of 3 cost and 2 cost is nuts. You know, and I think there's way more depth to it. And of course, I always in the start of a set I become quite the proactive player, so I did pick up Dogs and Burn because, you know, people are still figuring things out, and you're like, cool, I'm at 20 lore, I don't know what you've done. But I did try and pick up blue yellow, and I'd like to see people push that. I'm always this one as well. When I say like I don't think something's good, I really want someone to prove me wrong. Like to go out and do it and then go, no, if you build it like this, I'm like, okay, I will go play it now. Like that's awesome. But yeah, it's cool to see Shark back, and because I don't think we have long left for Shark as well. Like we've only
I think we got
2
like
sets left.
This set and next set, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's one of the more interesting cards of the game.
Yeah.
Like it's again, it feels. I wouldn't say it's an alt win con. You're still gaining lore, but it feels different, doesn't it? The way you want to win is like chain these actions together. That stuff's really cool to me.
I guess it's like one of the more unique cards, we could say. It's strong for sure, but one of the more unique cards in terms of like its ability in this game. Yeah. It's not like another card that just says, deal this much damage, minus this much strength, you know, gain this much lore, draw that many cards, right? It does different thing, right?
Yeah, there's nothing else doing it. The card I was really excited for was the boost Tamatoa. And I just kind of like the idea of like your entire win con is around this Tamatoa questing for like 10. Because it reminded me, of course, of Tamatoa, where that would do that with items. But it just, like, again, I play a lot of games with people and I get to test with some really high-level players. And at the start, you're like, oh, great, we're practiced and these are very even matchups. It's like, can we just try this into a deck that plays Daisy on turn 1? And then you realize that your deck doesn't work and it's just not worth playing anymore, which is always the sad part. But yeah, this set is really... I'm still in that like fairyland of this could be really fun, like in loads of different things.
Yeah, for sure. Like, are we the same person, or we like the same things, or either that, or we just like playing we just don't like playing the best deck and proving that underdog can win. I feel like like a lot of us are like that, right?
Yeah, and it's also that thing of like when you play the Mega Sweat round 1 or something at a DLC who's practiced every matchup. And it's like, haha, but have you practiced?
Have you practiced Kiwi with 5 word characters against Steel Song? No, you haven't.
Have you practiced into this jank yet? No, you haven't. You have no idea. But I'm pretty sure you can smash the mirror. But yeah, you don't know how to win this matchup. Yeah, all of that stuff's really fun. I think as well, like, with Kiwi, I had that like taste for I want to play something completely different every time. And I think what is the dream? Everyone always says they want to play the tier 1.5 deck that could be a tier 1 deck if piloted right. It's like the go-to phrase for like competitive players is like, you want a tier 1.5 so not everyone's playing it, but if you're piloting it, it's a tier 1 because you're that good. And you're always chasing that deck.
Always.
And I'm always trying to look for that as well. Yeah, it felt like Sapphire Steel was that for the longest time. We saw a lot of players like, you know, Justin Morales and like Bad Vegas as well. Like they were doing that. They were piling it into Top Cut when the deck was overall having like negative win rates at DLCs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really found that one yet in post rotation. But it's cool that the game really shakes up every rotation. It seems like in 2 sets time, it's going to be completely different again. I think.
And like I found like this set and even last set, like they're introducing so many new cards. Cards are very powerful as well. and like
Mm.
there's just like so many different potential like decks that you can actually build with this. Like for example, this set, like Akud is such a powerful card that like you can do some incredibly crazy things about it. And I think that's part of like one of the fun things about the game too, is when like you get all these new cards, you get to start brewing, you get to start building things, you know. Because I think for me at least, like that's like my favorite thing I think about the game is like building decks and just like trying to optimize it and making like a tier 1.5 deck as good as possible.
Yeah, I've seen some people get upset with that with like Lorcana, but it is the game where, because of the mulligan and everything, you can have these blowout like huge high roll games where, you know, and everyone, the joke I always go to is like the triple daisy opener. It's like, even if this is a good matchup for you, I'm pretty sure you can't beat 3 daisies in a row. You know, those sort of things. And
it's hard.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean,
yeah,
you have to have the most insane opener in response to that daisy. I'm going to go triple hook into like a skater mim. Like,
yeah.
For four,
and on top of that, like you're going to now have like, this is the set for high rolls as well. Like you could have a Coon into, you know, play a 4-drop on 2. Next turn, a Coon into like 5-cost Elsa. If you're playing purple, you can either imagine these high rolls that are just going to be insane, where it's like just the power level is so flipped. It's going to be really awesome for that. And on top of that, you know, we still get quite a few consistent cards. But yeah, this is the set for high rolls, so I'm hoping for a bit different things.
Yeah, like same, right? I hope that like these cards all these strong amber cards are going to shake up the meta a little bit. At least so far, how I feel so far is that like this set has like the top decks from set 10 didn't really go anywhere. They're not like getting weaker all of a sudden, but all the decks that were below it that were not really considered or played too much, I think all those decks got like a huge spike in power, and they're going to start moving closer to those decks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think all the other ones like I say, Ruby Yellow is kind of where I looked at, and Ruby's in a weird spot where it's pretty much the ultimate tool for taking out aggro decks. Like say, if I'm playing dogs, like I don't want to play against Ruby all day. Like it's just not fun.
No, it's not.
it feels like the deck. It just feels like the way their color is designed is to beat dogs. Like especially with Headless Horseman and Grab Your Bow now, and all of those things. Even like Diablo, the 2-cost is nuts. But like it feels like I don't know what I pair that with. Like Ruby Amethyst, I'll agree. I don't think it ever really worked. But now we have loads of other colors. You could pair it with steel. You could pair it with steel if you want. That would be terrible. I don't like Ruby steel. You could pair it with sapphire, is what I was going to say, and that's been looking quite interesting. I know as well, like people pet deck that color like crazy. They just have such fond memories of it that they're going to try it. But yeah, it feels like there's very like rigid right now. Like Ruby beats the aggro decks, but what do I want to pair that with? What do I want to play it with? And also, I don't want to lose to like Blurple on the same time as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's interesting how like a lot of the color identities have changed since rotation. Except for purple, I guess, but like everything else is kind of like has changed.
Yeah, it would be crazy when they like Sail and Tipo rotates out, and if they're going to replace that with like more 2-cost ramp cards, or they're going to be like, no, that was just that part of Lorcana. We don't do that anymore now. Sapphire's the ward color, or like Sapphire's the whatever color. Like it's going to be a bit crazy, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the part of the game where we have the most fun, because now we have to find new ways to build the deck and win with the colors that you like or the deck that you like, especially now that they took out the cards that you played for like a year.
Yeah. I did have that moment where it's like going to test, and the first person you play into is on like a standard curve purple steel. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm not an overly creative guy, but the first thing that you thought you could do is just curve out and sing Strength of the Raging Fire that you've been doing since like set 3.
Oh,
like,
you've been doing that
anything
forever.
else you want to try? Yeah, since like whenever Strength came out, you couldn't think of anything else to do. But I guess if you love it, like you can't really stop people doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still going to be around for another season after rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4 Strength.
Oh yeah.
But hey, maybe they'll give us more cards to actually combat that. We'll never know.
Yeah, for sure. I'd hope so. Yeah. Or more songs for removal.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on, Adam. Really appreciate your time. Do you have any shout outs, final words of wisdom maybe for the people out there?
Ah, can you? Well, before I do that, can you hear my guinea pigs right now?
No,
No,
I can't
they were
even
just
see
going
them.
wild. No, they're right over here, like in our office, and like it's dinner time for them soon. So they're just going wild, and I was like, I wonder if you can hear it on the mic.
No.
No, but thank you very much for having me on. Yeah, it's always nice to chat to you, and it's always nice that I'm very grateful. Like, kind of got into this circle with like Lorcana, and I get to talk to the content people and the good players and stuff. I'm always grateful for that. I've got
Mhm.
to mention. But yeah, I think it's good to talk about burnout, and especially if you're realizing that you're just not getting results and you're playing stuff you don't like and you're like, why am I doing any of this? Just take a step back. You know, if you need to play that like theme Zootopia 2 deck for a bit, you know, just to feel a bit of love for the game again, don't beat yourself up for that. Like, do that. You could still call yourself a competitive player or whatever. And like I say, like my results from season 1 to season 2, I've had less events to compete in, but still they are not like on par. Like, and I've had a bit of a bad time, but I don't like think of myself as a worse player. You know, maybe this isn't my set. Maybe this isn't even my rotation. You know, whatever it is. But you've just got to like, you know, just enjoy the game and try and have fun. Remember, it's all about friends as well.
Yep.
Friends and making memories, doing all of those great things. You know,
Right.
just find all the parts that you love in the game again.
Right. I love it. That's really good advice for the people. Well, second, Adam, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being here. And we will see you all in the next episode. Bye.